Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to take a deep dive into the NFL draft and specifically one position. We're going to take a look at the quarterbacks. I'm going to rank my top 5 and maybe give ideas of where I think they can go in the draft and to what teams. But without further ado, let's get straight into the video. So we're going to start off today with our honourable mention, and I've only got one. I'm doing a top 5, so we can call him 6, but it's a player I think is tough to judge because of situation, and it's Mac Jones of Alabama. As I'm recording this, the national championship has been and gone. Mac Jones dropped over 400 yards and 5 touchdowns, but at some point you have to look at who he's passing to. Najee Harris looks like an elite running back, and Devontae Smith might be the best wide receiver prospect for a very long time in the league. Looking at Mac Jones, to me, he's AJ McCarron 2.0. That's not to say he can't be better, but I just think that's what he reminds me of. Alabama quarterbacks don't tend to have a great reputation in the league, and hopefully Tua Tagovailoa can disprove that. But for me, Mac Jones is probably the 6th best quarterback in this class, so he's my honourable mention. Let's get right into the top 5. At number 5, we have Kyle Trask out of Florida. Trask had an electrifying season for the Gators, 40 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, and I think the biggest thing about his year was how he stepped up in big games. Against Georgia, he tallied up over 500 yards, and even though they lost the SEC championship to Alabama, he had a great game with over 400 yards and 3 touchdowns to go with it. He's proven to step up in the big games, and his strengths are very transferable to the next level. Great accuracy, a good pocket presence, the ball placement's there, the timing's there, the poise is there. The issue with Kyle Trask, especially in the modern day NFL, is his lack of mobility. A lot of NFL teams are going to see him as a standing duck, just in the pocket, and if you can close him in, you're in trouble. The style of defense the NFL is also changing. Teams like New England, Miami, Baltimore are getting pressure on the quarterback through schemes rather than players. Sending 6 or 7 in different positions to collapse the pocket, and without being able to move, that is going to cause a problem. I think Trask is a great quarterback with a great arm, and possibly, I don't think it's unheard of to say he has the number 2 arm in this class, but his lack of mobility is going to cost him places in the draft and possibly snaps in the future. That's why he's my number 5 quarterback in the 2021 NFL Draft. At number 4, I've got Trey Lance out of North Dakota State. He is massive. He is athletic and he is very, very fast. People talk about mobility in quarterbacks. He's near the opposite to Kyle Trask. Averaging 6.5 yards a carry in 2019 as he sat out 2020. And 14 rushing TDs. The man on the ground is electrifying. He's got a huge arm, small accuracy worries, and small in-the-pocket footwork worries. But he has all the intangibles. He really strikes me as a Josh Allen. Physical freak. Has the arm strength, has the athleticism. My big concern for a player like Lance is if you look at the history of the NFL with one-year quarterbacks who had one big season and then got drafted. Let me list you off some of the most recent ones. Mitch Trubisky, Blake Bortles, Dwayne Haskins, Deshaun Kaiser. All of these quarterbacks got 1 year in the spotlight, got drafted, and bar Mitch Trubisky right now, who has a chance to relive it in Chicago in the offseason, have all been letdowns. I think Trey Lance is, if Lance in a good spot, could be an elite quarterback, but it all depends on coaching for him and how much you can improve his intangibles. So Trey Lance is my number 4 quarterback in the NFL Draft. For me, number 2 and 3 was a toss-up. I had strengths and weaknesses between them, but I think I looked back at my previous rankings throughout the year, and it's been solid at 2 and 3, so I'm going to stick to it. Number 3, I have Zach Wilson out of BYU. BYU obviously had a great season and got snubbed for some bowl games in people's view. But Zach Wilson as a whole as a quarterback went 33-3 this year as a starter. Only 3 interceptions is a great season. You look at his arm talent and it's exceptional. Doesn't necessarily have the biggest arm, but has no problem throwing it deep. He can make every throw in the book. He can throw lasers. He can throw the floated airy balls. And there really isn't a throw right now that I don't think any quarterback in college can make that he can't make. I don't think he has top end athleticism, but I think a very good comparison I heard a few days ago was Johnny Manziel. Johnny Manziel seemed to have this sort of wiggle about him. Very snappy movements, was able to break tackles and move forward, and I believe that's exactly what Zach Wilson will be able to move like, and that's more than enough in this NFL. His quick feet in the pocket and his incredible arm for his talent levels will surely get him drafted high. In my opinion, he's a top 5 draft pick in this draft, and I think he's a 2 or 3 in the rankings, but for today, he's my number 3 in the 2021 NFL Draft. At number 2, we have the other part of my toss-up, and that's Justin Fields out of Ohio State. I'm a firm believer in not letting one game change your view on someone forever, and I was very close to doing that with the national championship. Fields didn't have a disgusting game. He wasn't the reason they lost, but he didn't have a good game by any means. 1 touchdown, just over 100 yards passing. He had his issues, and I think a lot of his issues got brought up. He has elite athleticism, but does hold the ball for too long. He always wants to find the perfect play, and he has issues with throwing into separation. He has to throw into a well-separated player and doesn't seem too confident throwing into tight coverages. He tends to struggle against blitzes because he holds it on for too long, but I think Fields is being hit with a lot of prospect fatigue. When someone is so high for so long, people try to find faults rather than just accepting how good they are. If Justin Fields wins that national championship against Alabama, the question being asked isn't is he better than Zach Wilson, it's is he better than Trevor Lawrence? That's the problem with one game of a season. I think Justin Fields is still a developmental quarterback. The worry with blitzes and the worry with tight coverage is very prominent in the NFL. You saw it with Tua this year. Tua does not like throwing into the tight coverage windows, it seems, and that's causing problems. Similarly, Herbert did not like playing against the blitz. It was proved in different games. NFL teams will know these problems and will try to target you on them. So this makes him, I think, quite dependent on the team he goes to. A lot of people have him talked about going number 2 to the Jets, and then a lot of people also think that's a bonfire waiting to happen. But I think the Jets can get a new head coach and can get someone that can help him. I think Fields will be a very good NFL quarterback. I think he will break the Ohio State mold for NFL quarterbacks, which hasn't been too successful in recent years. So in my opinion, he is the number 2 quarterback in this draft. And at number 1, it should be no surprise, it's Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence, in my opinion, is the best quarterback prospect since Andrew Luck, and can possibly be better than Luck was as a prospect. He is verging on flawless. I think he similarly hits by the prospect fatigue. People try to find faults in him, and no one can. The fact you've heard about Fields' problems means there might be them. But no one has heard about, Trevor Lawrence struggles to throw to the left-hand side of the field, because there isn't any inherent problems. The man can do everything. 96-15 in 3 seasons at Clemson for 9,376 yards and just under 70% completion rating. That is incredible stats. The college game, slowly but surely, is moving more to the athletic quarterbacks, more to the run game, similar to the NFL, and he stood as a pocket passer and was incredible. He has a good arm, by no means the cannon of Josh Allen, but he has a very good arm. He has incredible poise in the pocket, and this truly is a no-brainer of a pick. The Jags picked the best season in 10 years to tank. News coming out today that Urban Meyer is going to be appointed as the Jags head coach. Further that, Meyer and Lawrence are going to be a tandem in this league for a long time if the Jags can pull it together. So for me, Trevor Lawrence is the number one pick in the NFL draft. At the start of the video, I said I would also tell you where I think they're going to go in this draft. Obviously, the draft order isn't quite set yet, but the top of it is. Trevor Lawrence going 1 to the Jags, no surprise. I think at number 2, the Jets will make the right call, and it will be Justin Fields going to New York. I think 3, Miami don't go quarterback. They go receiver. 4, the Falcons, I think, will go quarterback. Falcons are in a position where a rebuild's imminent. Matt Ryan can't be moved this offseason due to contract problems, but can be moved next year. Gives you a year to build. They might never get the 4th overall pick again. I think they go Zach Wilson out of BYU at 4. We dropped on the board a little bit. At pick number 8, I think the Panthers will select a quarterback as well. Similarly, Bridgewater can't really be moved this year, but can next year. I think the Panthers take Trey Lance out of North Dakota State. And if you keep moving down the board, in the middle of the draft, it's the New England Patriots. I think they have a problem on their hands, and it's an issue between fit and ability. Mac Jones fits what they do. He fits the passing schemes that Brady did when he started. He fits what I think they wanted to do this year with Cam Newton, with a bit of athleticism, but it didn't work. Similarly, Kyle Trask, I think, is a better quarterback, but is very stagnant in the pocket with his movement. It's a tough one. I think when push comes to shove, you have to take the better player at the time. I think Kyle Trask goes to New England in the first round of this draft, leaving 5 quarterbacks going in round 1. Mac Jones is a bit of an unknown. Mac Jones could go in the first round as well, but I'm not sure any teams near the tail end of the draft are going to be looking to pick up a quarterback. But thank you very much for watching. That's my honourable mention and top 5 quarterbacks of this draft class. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed it. If you disagree with me, please start a discussion in the comments. I will happily reply to every comment I get. Follow me on Twitter, it's in the description. I have a Patreon in the description as well if you want to support me any other ways. But once again, thank you very much for watching today. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you all tomorrow.